FactsVerse presents. Nearly 70 years after a bizarre incident in West Virginia, people are still asking questions. When something strange comes from the sky, many people automatically believe it's a UFO. Even those who don't think that there's life on other planets start to believe when they see something strange. Today, we have more advanced technology which makes it easy to debunk a lot of UFO sightings. We have technology that can show us what's in the sky, where it came from. Back in the 50s, though, we didn't have this technology, and it made it a bit more difficult for us to tell what came down from the sky. And that was the case in Braxton County, West Virginia, on a fall night in 1952. The event took place on a quiet fall night. Two brothers, Fred and Edward May, were out with a friend, Tommy Heyer. They were playing outside together as they do on most nights after supper, and they saw something bright in the sky. The bright light caught the boys' attention, and they followed it with their eyes through the sky, and they saw it crash down to the earth. It appeared that whatever flashed in the sky had landed on a farm belonging to G. Bailey Fisher. The boys knew that they needed help to find out what had come from the sky, and so they went to go tell their parents. Shortly after the boys saw the strange object fall, another child arrived who also saw something. His name was Neil Nunley, and he claimed to have seen a flashing red light in the distance. Between what the boys had seen and what Neil had seen, people were beginning to wonder what really was going on. And it wasn't long before a National Guardsman heard about what was happening, and he joined in the search. His name is Eugene Lemon, and he also saw something himself. According to Eugene, there was a tall, man-like figure with a round red face. A pointed, hood-like shape surrounded him. Each member of the search party reported seeing something slightly different, but they all painted a picture of something monstrous that was in their midst. They all claimed that the figure was hissing at them, and it caused them to head for the hills. The last thing they wanted was to come face-to-face with the monster that had crashed down to Earth. When the search party saw the monster, they all reported something that made them feel sick, and this was when the sheriff and his deputy got involved. They claimed not to have found anything in the woods, but a reporter who heard about the incident claims that they're wrong. The reporter says that when he heard about what was happening, he went to the woods on his own and he searched for traces of a UFO. He said he found markings and traces of a gum-like substance, which he was sure was the signs of a UFO that had come down to Earth. He reported the story, and soon UFO enthusiasts and even some who were skeptical were sure that a real flying saucer had landed in Braxton County, and now there was alien life walking among them. Thanks to the reporter, the story started to get around more quickly. It was the 1950s version of a story going viral. People from all over the world were sure that a UFO had crash-landed on that fall night. It would be almost 70 years before somebody would revisit the case and try and determine what really happened on that night. In 2000, a group called the Committee for Skeptical Inquiry decided to investigate what happened on that fall night back in 1950. It's a non-profit organization that works to either prove or debunk strange occurrences, and the man looking into the story was Joe Nickell. He wasn't sure if the UFO theory was correct, however he had to be sure for himself. He did some digging into other events that occurred that night in other areas and determined that whatever had come from the sky was a meteor. It had been spotted in several other states that night. Next, Joe started looking into the pulsing red light that Neil claimed to have seen. Joe determined that the pulsing light was from a beacon that was used in air navigation. These beacons are designed to activate when a hazard occurs, like when a meteor hits the Earth. The final question that Joe had was the figure that everyone claimed to have seen, the monster. Unfortunately, since it had been nearly 70 years since the incident occurred, he couldn't be sure what everybody claimed to have seen. Based on witness accounts, he determined that what they had seen was probably a barn owl. He can't be sure, but that's his theory. Nearly 70 years after this incident in West Virginia, people are still asking questions. And not very many people are buying Joe Nickell's theory either. He thinks he has the answers, but he can't be 100% positive. And nobody is 100% positive about anything regarding this case. What do you think the creature might have been? And do you believe what Joe Nickell thinks? Tell us in the comments, and subscribe for more.